Have you ever paused long enough to wonder whose approval you are still waiting for? You push, you strive, you bend to fit expectations that were never meant to hold you, and yet the feeling of being enough keeps slipping further away. Maybe you've been chasing applause that fades the moment it touches you. Maybe you've been living for someone else's nod, someone else's smile, someone else's permission to feel worthy. But what if you didn't need any of that anymore? What if the power to feel whole, loved, and complete has been in your own hands all along, quietly waiting for you to notice? Right now, in this very breath, something inside you is ready to wake up. It's the part of you that is tired of proving, tired of hiding, tired of shrinking so that others can feel tall. It's the voice that whispers late at night when the world finally grows quiet, I am more than what they see. I am more than the roles I've been given. That voice is not a fantasy. It's the deepest truth of who you are, and it's been calling you back to yourself all along. Think about how many days you've given away to the belief that love must be earned. Every time you push your own needs aside to be accepted, every moment you stay silent when your heart begged to speak, that weight you carry is not yours to keep. You were never meant to live a life built on someone else's approval. You were born already deserving of your own love, and no one can take that from you. Not time, not failure, not even the mistakes you replay in your mind. You are not defined by what went wrong. You are defined by the courage it takes to start again. This is where everything begins to change. The first spark of self-love is quiet, but it is powerful. It is the simple decision to stop waiting, to stop asking for validation that will never fill you, to choose yourself, not in arrogance, but in truth. Because when you choose yourself, you unlock a strength that no rejection can erase. You discover that the love you give to yourself is the foundation for every dream, every relationship, every moment of peace that follows. Stay with this feeling. Let it sink in. Because the journey ahead will take you deeper than quick inspiration or fleeting motivation. Over the next minutes, you will learn how to stop comparing, how to rewrite the story in your mind, how to plant 52 seeds of self-love, one for every week of the year, until your life blooms with a quiet confidence no one can shake. You will see how small actions, repeated with intention, build a life that feels like home. You will find the courage to forgive yourself and to start fresh no matter how many times you've fallen. This is not just another talk. It's an invitation to return to the person you were always meant to be. If you stay, you will feel it. The shift from searching outside to discovering the treasure within. By the end, you will understand that you are the source of the love you've been seeking, and that truth will set you free. So breathe, stay present, and let this be the moment you finally say yes to yourself. The world around you moves fast, and it whispers a dangerous lie that your worth depends on how you measure up to everyone else. Every scroll through a screen flashes lives that look brighter, cleaner, more successful, faces smile, achievements sparkle, and without noticing, you begin to weigh yourself against strangers. Their highlight reels start to feel like the standard you must reach. But comparison is a thief that steals in silence. It drains your joy, blurs your vision, and convinces you that what you are is never enough. Feel how heavy that pressure has been. The quiet doubt when you look in the mirror, the small ache when someone else celebrates a win, that voice inside that says, they are ahead, I am behind. But this belief is built on illusions. You do not see their struggles, their sleepless nights, their hidden fears. You see only a moment, a carefully chosen frame. When you compare yourself to that, you are fighting shadows. Shadows cannot define your worth. Your life is not a race against anyone else. The truth is simple but powerful. Your journey is your own. No one can live it for you, and no one can take it from you. Psychology shows that gratitude rewires the brain, shifting focus from scarcity to abundance. When you practice noticing what you already have, the need to measure fades. You begin to see the quiet victories you once overlooked, the strength it took to get out of bed on a hard day, the courage to keep trying when no one was watching, the moments of kindness you offered when you felt empty yourself. These are triumphs no comparison can touch. Today, choose to release the habit of measuring your life against someone else's timeline. This is not about ignoring ambition. It is about reclaiming your energy. Every moment spent comparing is a moment stolen from your own growth. Take that energy back. Use it to nurture what is uniquely yours. Look within and find one thing, just one, that you can be proud of today. It might be small, It might be quiet, but it is real and it belongs to you. Imagine the freedom of living without that constant scoreboard in your mind. No rush to catch up, no fear of falling behind, only the steady rhythm of your own progress. This is where self-love becomes action. It is the gentle but firm decision to see your life through your own eyes, not through a filter of someone else's success. It is the courage to say, I am on my path, and my path is enough. When you let go of comparison, you create space for joy to breathe. You begin to notice the beauty of your own unfolding. You start to feel gratitude not only for what you have, but for who you are becoming. And in that space, confidence grows. Not the fragile confidence that needs applause, but the quiet, unshakable kind that lives deep in your bones. Let this be the moment you stop chasing their reflection and start honoring your own. You are not behind. You are not late. You are exactly where you need to be to take the next true step toward the life you are meant to live. There is a quiet truth waiting beneath the noise of doubt. Your worth is not a mystery to be solved. It is a fact written into your being. You were born with it. Long before anyone judged you, before any failure or success, the value of your existence was complete. Yet somewhere along the way, you were taught to believe you must earn it. You were told that love depends on achievement, that confidence must be proven, that only certain people deserve peace. Those lessons were lies. They came from voices that were themselves afraid, voices passing down their own scars. You do not have to carry them anymore. Science shows how the brain can change and grow, how thoughts repeated over time carve pathways like rivers shaping stone. Every self-critical thought strengthens a pattern of doubt, but every compassionate thought builds a new road toward freedom. This is not empty hope. It is biology. Neurons fire and reconnect. Synapses reshape. With every kind word you speak to yourself, you are literally rewiring your mind to believe in your own worth. What you tell yourself becomes the architecture of your reality. Listen to the words you whisper when no one else can hear. Do they lift you or cut you? Do they open doors or build walls? You may have been harsh with yourself for years, believing that criticism would make you stronger. But research shows the opposite. Self-compassion fuels resilience, while self-judgment weakens it. Strength grows from understanding, not punishment. When you meet your own mistakes with patience, you rise faster and higher than when you meet them with shame. Begin now with a single sentence that affirms your value. It doesn't need to be grand. It doesn't need to sound perfect. Simple words like I'm worthy of my own love hold power when spoken with intention. Say it out loud or in silence. Let it feel awkward if it must. Every repetition is a quiet revolution. Over time, these words stop being foreign and start becoming familiar. A voice of truth replacing the old echo of doubt. Picture your mind as a garden. The thoughts you water will grow. If you feed the soil with words of respect and kindness, you will see strength and calm rise like sunlight through leaves. If you continue to feed the weeds of criticism, they will choke the life you long to live. The choice is yours in every moment, and the smallest choice matters. One compassionate thought today can become 10 tomorrow. A chain reaction of healing that transforms how you see everything. You are not a problem to be fixed. You are a miracle learning to remember itself. The beauty of this truth is that no one else can take it from you. Not a single person's opinion can reach into your mind and undo the pathways you build with care. This is the foundation of unshakable self-love, the understanding that your worth is not fragile, not conditional, not up for debate. It is a steady flame that lives within you, waiting for you to breathe life into it again and again. Let this be the moment you choose to speak to yourself as you would to someone you deeply cherish. Let it be the moment you trust the science of your own mind and the strength of your own heart. Each gentle word is not just comfort, it is transformation, the beginning of a life where your value is no longer questioned but lived. There are memories you carry that still ache like fresh wounds, moments you rarely speak of, because the pain feels too deep to name. You may tell yourself they are behind you, but they linger in the quiet corners of your mind, shaping how you see yourself, how you trust, how you love. Old words of criticism, the look of disappointment in someone's eyes, a loss that felt like it broke something permanent inside you. These experiences are not signs of weakness. They are evidence that you have lived, that you have felt deeply, that you have survived. But survival is not the end of the story. healing is. Healing begins when you stop running from what hurt you, when you turn toward the pain and allow yourself to see it clearly without judgment. Psychology shows that naming emotions softens their power. When you give shape to what was once a silent shadow, the mind starts to release its grip. You are not reopening the wound, you are letting it breathe so it can close with strength. This is the heart of courage, meeting the past without letting it define the future. You might fear that facing the hurt will break you, but what truly breaks you is carrying it without release. Pain kept in the dark grows heavier with time. Pain brought into light begins to dissolve. Imagine sitting quietly with the younger version of yourself, the one who first felt the sting of rejection or loss. See them there, small and scared, waiting for someone to simply say, "You deserve better. You were always enough." That someone can be you right now. You are allowed to give comfort to the parts of yourself that were never comforted. Forgiveness is not about excusing what happened. It is about freeing yourself from the weight of it. It is choosing to no longer let the actions of others or the mistakes of your own past control the present moment. Forgiveness is an act of self-love. It says, "I will not let yesterday decide who I am today." This decision does not erase the pain, but it transforms it into wisdom, into resilience, into a strength that cannot be taken. Breathe into the space where the hurt lives. With every inhale, invite in compassion. With every exhale, release a fragment of the memory's hold. Feel how your body softens when you stop fighting what is already true. You are not your scars. You are the person who has carried them and still found the will to keep moving. That strength is sacred. When you allow healing, you reclaim the energy that has been locked away. You discover a quiet power that does not shout but stands unshaken. The past no longer dictates the rhythm of your heart. You become the author of your own story again, writing new chapters with steady hands. This is where self-love deepens beyond words. It is not only affirming your worth, but also proving it by giving yourself the gift of release. You are not broken. You are unfolding. Every breath, every gentle acknowledgement, every act of forgiveness is a step toward wholeness. The pain that once defined you becomes the soil where new strength grows. And in that growth, you find a freedom greater than anything you once imagined, a freedom to live, to love, and to rise without the weight you once carried. As the weight of old wounds begins to lift, a new strength quietly rises within you, a strength built not on walls, but on clear lines of self-respect. This strength shows itself in the choices you make each day, especially in the boundaries you set. Boundaries are not barriers meant to keep the world away. They are bridges that guide healthy connection. They are the invisible lines where your dignity stands, where you choose what you allow into your life and what you release. Without them, your energy leaks into every demand, every expectation until you are left drained and unseen. With them, you claim the right to exist as your fullest self. Think of the times you have said yes when every part of you wanted to say no. The moments when you gave more than you could bear, hoping to keep the peace, fearing that refusal meant rejection. Each time, a small piece of your truth slipped further from reach. This is not weakness. It is a learned habit, one many carry for years. But you can unlearn it. The science of self-determination shows that when you act from your own values rather than pressure, your well-being grows. Saying no is not a door slammed shut. It is a yes to the life you are meant to live. Feel the difference in your body when you imagine protecting your own time, your own heart. Picture an invisible circle of light drawn around you, not as a wall, but as a gentle field. Inside it lives your peace, your dreams, your quiet power. Anything that nourishes you is welcome to enter. Anything that drains or diminishes you cannot cross without your permission. This vision is not fantasy. It is a practice of self-respect, a psychological anchor that reminds you where you end and the world begins. Setting a boundary may feel uncomfortable at first. The people who benefit from your silence may resist. The voice of guilt may whisper that you are selfish. But guilt is not a guide. It is a signal that you are breaking an old pattern. Each time you stand firm with kindness, you teach others how to honor you. More importantly, you teach yourself that your needs are valid. Over time, this practice becomes second nature. You no longer measure worth by how much you give away. You measure it by how fully you live in alignment with your own truth. Notice how your breathing deepens when you imagine this freedom. You no longer chase approval because respect begins within. You no longer fear distance because real connection grows stronger when it is chosen, not demanded. Research shows that people who maintain healthy boundaries experience less stress, more satisfaction, and deeper relationships. When you honor your limits, you create space for love that is mutual, for work that is meaningful, for rest that restores. This is the quiet revolution of self-love, the decision to protect your own light. Every time you say, "This is what I can give, and this is what I will not accept," you are not pushing others away. You are inviting the right ones closer. You are shaping a life where your presence is whole and your energy is free. Let this understanding settle into your heart. Boundaries are not the end of connection. They are the beginning of real, lasting harmony between you and the world around you. With every boundary you honor, a space opens inside you, wide, clear, alive. Into that space comes the possibility of steady, nourishing action. Real self-love is not a single decision. It is a rhythm, a series of choices that build a life of quiet strength. Think of it as planting seeds, 52 of them, one for every week of the year. Each seed is small. Each act may seem almost invisible at first, but small acts, repeated with intention, create a harvest that transforms everything. A seed might be a morning spent in silence before the world begins. It might be a walk where you notice the sound of your own breath and the feel of the earth beneath your feet. It might be turning off a screen an hour earlier so your mind can rest. None of these gestures demand perfection or spectacle. They simply require presence. Psychology shows that consistent microactions, practiced daily or weekly, build habits that shape identity. When you choose even one gentle act of care each week, you teach your brain to expect kindness, to seek balance, to protect your energy without force. Imagine what a year of such choices could create. 52 quiet moments of choosing yourself, 52 chances to replace old patterns with new strength. A single week of compassion softens the inner critic. 10 weeks begin to shift the way you think. By the time seasons have turned, you no longer wonder whether you are worthy of love. You feel it in the rhythm of your life. This is not theory. It is the science of incremental growth, the compound effect that turns the smallest actions into lasting change. Let yourself picture a calendar not filled with obligations but alive with these seeds. Each square a reminder, this week I move, this week I breathe, this week I speak kindly to myself, this week I pause to listen. The mind responds to repetition and the heart responds to attention. What you consistently nurture becomes the architecture of your days. Over time, the life you once struggled to imagine becomes the life you naturally live. This practice is not a race to self-perfection. It is an unfolding, a patient conversation with your own soul. Some weeks you may forget, some days you may resist. That does not erase the progress you made. Growth is not broken by a single misstep. What matters is returning, gently but firmly, to the next seed, the next breath, the next choice. In this way, you teach yourself that love is not earned by flawless effort. It is revealed through persistence and care. Feel the quiet power of this truth. You do not have to wait for a grand breakthrough. You do not need a sudden, dramatic change. You need only the willingness to begin and to begin again. Every small act is a declaration. I value my life. I honor my being. I choose to grow. These seeds, humble and steady, will root deeper than any fleeting burst of motivation. They will become a forest of resilience, a landscape of self-respect that no storm can strip away. The year will pass whether you plant these seeds or not. The weeks will move forward, carrying you with them. But if you choose to sow them, one by one, week by week, you will arrive at a place where love is not something you chase. It is something you embody, woven into the rhythm of every day you live. Even as new habits take root, there will be moments when doubt returns like an unexpected storm. Old patterns whisper that you have not changed enough, that a single slip means you are back at the beginning. This is the voice of fear, and it will try to convince you that progress is fragile, but strength is not measured by a life without missteps. Strength is measured by the courage to begin again, no matter how many times the path twists. Every person who has ever transformed their life has faced this truth. Growth is not a straight climb, it is a spiral. You may revisit old thoughts or behaviors, but each time you return, you arrive with more wisdom than before. What once felt like failure becomes proof that you are still moving, still alive, still willing to try. Research on resilience shows that those who recover from setbacks with self-compassion rise faster and go further than those who punish themselves. The difference is not in how often you stumble, but in how gently you rise. When you fall, remember this: the ground is not your enemy. It is the place where you gather strength to stand. The pause after a setback is not wasted time. It is the quiet where insight grows. Each time you start again, you are not erasing the past. You are adding another layer to your endurance. Like a muscle strengthened through repetition, your ability to begin builds power with every attempt. Breathe deeply and feel the truth of your own persistence. Think of the countless times you have already endured what once seemed impossible. You are here because you have survived every difficult day before this one. That is evidence of a resilience greater than any single challenge. Let that realization fill you with a quiet confidence that no stumble can undo. Self-love is tested not when life feels easy, but when it asks you to keep going despite the weight of discouragement. This is where the seeds you planted matter most. Each small habit of kindness, each moment of inner respect becomes a handhold when the climb feels steep. They remind you that you have a foundation strong enough to carry you forward. They are proof that progress lies in persistence, not perfection. Release the need for a flawless journey. Embrace the truth that renewal is always available. Each sunrise offers a clean slate, and you need no permission to claim it. Begin again with the smallest action, a breath, a thought, a single step, and the path unfolds. Momentum returns not through force, but through the steady choice to rise. Feel the quiet pride that comes from refusing to give up. It is not loud, yet it is unbreakable. It is the same force that turns seeds into forests and seasons into change. You are not defined by the moment you fall. You are defined by the countless moments you stand back up, stronger and wiser than before. Let this understanding settle into every part of you. Starting again is not a sign of weakness. It is the ultimate proof of strength, the heartbeat of transformation. Each time you choose to begin, you declare to the world and to yourself that your story is still unfolding and that nothing, not doubt, not fear, not the past, can keep you from the life you are meant to live. As you rise again and again, you begin to notice the body that carries you through every triumph and trial. This vessel of bone, breath, and beating heart has never abandoned you, even when you turned away from it. It has absorbed every late night, every rush of adrenaline, every moment of stress, and it continues to serve you with quiet devotion. Yet how often have you treated it as an afterthought, demanding more while giving less? Real self-love cannot live only in the mind. It must take root in the body, because the body is where life unfolds. Close your eyes and listen to the steady rhythm beneath your skin. That pulse is proof of resilience beyond your understanding. Your heart has never once asked for permission to keep beating. Your lungs have never stopped drawing in air, even when you felt too tired to care. This is not just biology. It is a constant reminder that you are worthy of care simply because you exist. Psychology and medicine alike reveal that when you nurture the body through rest, nourishment, movement, you also heal the mind. They are not separate worlds. They are two voices of the same song. Honor this partnership by giving your body what it has been quietly asking for. It does not crave punishment or relentless perfection. It asks for balance. It asks for gentle movement that awakens rather than exhausts. It asks for food that sustains rather than numbs. It asks for the kind of rest that lets every cell repair and renew. When you answer these needs, you are not chasing an image in a mirror. You are choosing life. You are saying to yourself, I deserve to feel whole. Release the idea that care must be earned through hard work or flawless discipline. Care is not a reward, it is a birthright. Each glass of water, each deep breath, each stretch of muscle is a quiet declaration of love. Research shows that even small rituals of physical care reduce anxiety and lift mood. A 5-minute walk in fresh air, a mindful meal eaten without distraction, a pause to feel your own heartbeat. These simple acts whisper to the brain that you are safe, that you belong, that you are enough. Notice how tension softens when you meet your body with respect. Shoulders drop, breathing deepens, the mind clears. This is not indulgence, it is alignment. The more you listen to the signals your body sends, the more you live in the present moment. And in the present, fear loses its grip. In the present, love has room to grow. Every scar, every stretch, every line on your skin tells the story of a life endured and still unfolding. There is beauty in that honesty. Your body is not an obstacle to self-love. It is its greatest ally. Treat it with gratitude. Speak to it with kindness. Move it not to punish, but to celebrate the miracle of being alive. This is where transformation deepens. When mind and body unite in respect, you become a force of quiet power. You stop chasing some distant version of yourself and start inhabiting the one who is here now, strong, breathing, and whole. In every heartbeat lies the invitation to love yourself completely, not someday, but today, in this very breath. When you begin to honor your body, you also discover the quiet magic of progress that grows from the smallest victories. True transformation is rarely a sudden leap. It is built on the steady rhythm of small wins. Your brain is wired to respond to these moments. Each tiny success releases a spark of dopamine, a natural signal of reward that tells you to keep going. This is the science of momentum. One small action leads to another, and before you realize it, a chain of triumphs carries you forward. Think of the times you set an intention, however small, and followed through, drinking a full glass of water the moment you woke, taking 3 slow breaths before opening a screen, saying a kind word to yourself in the mirror when no one else was watching. These moments may seem ordinary, but they are the architecture of change. Psychology shows that the mind loves progress more than perfection. Every step, no matter how slight, builds a sense of capability. Each win tells your brain, I can trust myself, and that trust becomes the foundation for bigger dreams. Celebrate these wins. Do not dismiss them as trivial. They are the proof that you are moving, that you are alive to possibility. Even when the larger goal feels far away, these small acts of success give your heart the signal that growth is happening. They remind you that transformation is not a single destination, but a living process, unfolding breath by breath, choice by choice. Notice how your confidence rises when you acknowledge these victories. The inner critic loses power because it can no longer deny evidence of your strength. Self-respect deepens because you witness your own follow-through. This is how self-love matures, not through grand declarations, but through quiet consistency. You become someone who shows up for yourself again and again, until showing up feels as natural as breathing. Let each day offer one small promise you can keep. It might be a moment of stillness, a step toward a dream, a single affirmation repeated with conviction. The size of the action matters less than the act of honoring it. Over time, these moments of follow-through rewire your self-image. You stop seeing yourself as someone who only wishes and start seeing yourself as someone who acts. The identity shift is subtle, but it is everything. This practice does more than build discipline. It nourishes hope. When you experience the reward of steady progress, your vision for the future brightens. The path ahead no longer feels impossible because you have evidence that change is already happening. Each success is a light along the road, guiding you when doubt tries to cloud your way. Allow yourself to feel the pride of these quiet triumphs. They are not insignificant. They are the heartbeat of transformation. With every small victory, you prove that you are capable of building the life you once only imagined. You prove that self-love is not a distant ideal, but a living reality you create with each deliberate step. This is how lasting change takes hold. Not with sudden breakthroughs, but with the steady glow of daily commitment. Trust these moments, celebrate them. They are the undeniable signs that you are becoming the person you were always meant to be, one powerful, purposeful win at a time. As the pattern of small victories strengthens, a deeper transformation begins to unfold in the quiet space of your own mind. Every thought you choose becomes a brushstroke on the canvas of your identity. The stories you repeat to yourself are not harmless background noise. They are the blueprint for how you see the world and how you see yourself. If those stories are filled with judgment or limitation, they trap you inside walls that do not even exist. But when you dare to rewrite them, you reclaim the authority to define who you are. Listen closely to the sentences that echo when the day grows still. Do they tell you that you are capable, or do they remind you of every past mistake? Do they offer hope, or do they predict failure before you even begin? The mind believes what it hears most often. Neuroscience shows that each repeated thought strengthens its own neural path, like footsteps deepening a trail through a forest. For years, you may have walked the same trail of doubt, carving it deeper, until it felt like the only way forward. But you can choose a new path. Each fresh, empowering thought is a step that slowly reshapes the landscape of your mind. Start with a single phrase that feels honest and strong. It might be as simple as I am worthy of new beginnings. Or I create my own story. Speak it aloud, whisper it under your breath. Write it where your eyes will find it. Every repetition is a signal to your brain that a new reality is taking root. At first, it may feel strange, as if you are reciting words that belong to someone else. But over time, these words grow familiar. They stop feeling like wishes and start feeling like truth. This is not about pretending pain never happened. It is about deciding what meaning that pain will carry. You can choose to view setbacks as proof of failure, or you can frame them as evidence of resilience. You can tell yourself you are broken, or you can tell yourself you are in the process of becoming whole. The facts of your life remain the same, but the story you tell gives those facts their power. When you rewrite the narrative with courage and compassion, you take back every piece of yourself that shame tried to claim. Notice how your body responds when you shift the words inside your mind. Shoulders loosen, breathing steadies, a quiet energy begins to rise. Positive reframing is not empty optimism. It is the act of refusing to let the past dictate the present. It is a conscious choice to create a vision of yourself that is expansive, alive, and free. Let the new story be bold. Let it honor every lesson you have learned and every strength you have earned. When old thoughts return, meet them with calm. You no longer need to fight them. Simply choose the narrative that serves your growth again and again until the old voices fade into the background and the new voice, your true voice, rings clear. This is the power of rewriting your inner story. It is the moment you stop being a character in someone else's script and become the author of your own. Each thought, each word, each quiet affirmation draws you closer to the life you were meant to live, a life written by your own hand and guided by your own unwavering belief. When you claim the role of author in your own life, you also awaken to the truth that boundaries are acts of self-love, not walls of rejection. They are the lines that protect your energy, the quiet shields that honor your worth. Without them, you become open to every demand, every opinion, every careless intrusion. With them, you choose what enters your space and what does not. This is not selfishness. This is respect. You cannot pour strength into your dreams if your spirit is drained by what you never wanted to carry. Think of how often you have said yes when every part of you whispered no. Each time a piece of your inner power slipped away and resentment settled in its place. Psychology reveals that chronic people-pleasing is tied to fear of abandonment, a belief that love must be earned through sacrifice. But love that requires you to betray yourself is not love. It is control. The courage to say no is the courage to say yes to your own life. It is the moment you decide that your peace matters as much as anyone else's approval. Setting a boundary begins with a single decision: I am worthy of protection. From there, action flows. You may choose fewer words, a steady voice, a calm explanation. You may simply step back without offering reasons at all. Boundaries are not built on anger. They are built on clarity. They are not meant to punish. They are meant to preserve. Each time you hold a boundary, you reinforce the message to yourself that you are valuable, that your needs have weight, that your time is sacred. It will feel uncomfortable at first. Guilt may rise like a tide. Old habits will call you back to the familiar pattern of overextending, of apologizing for wanting space. Stay steady. Remind yourself that discomfort is the sign of growth. The brain resists change not because you are wrong, but because you are rewriting years of conditioning. Every time you honor a boundary, you carve a new path in the mind, a path that leads to freedom. Watch how relationships shift when you stand firm. Those who truly care for you will respect your lines even if it takes time. Those who only valued what they could take may pull away, revealing what was always true. This is not loss, it is revelation. It clears the way for connections built on mutual respect and real love, not on silent sacrifice. Boundaries also create room for deeper presence. When you are not stretched thin by constant demands, you can give your best energy to the people and projects that matter most. Your creativity awakens. Your body finds rest. Your heart grows lighter. This is the reward of self-protection, a life that feels like it belongs to you. You are not here to be endlessly available. You are here to live fully, to grow boldly, to offer your gifts from a place of wholeness. Boundaries make that possible. They are not barriers to connection. They are bridges to healthier love. When you honor them, you declare to the world and to yourself that your life is your own. This declaration is not just an act of defense, it is an act of profound love, the kind of love that sets you free to become everything you are meant to be. As you stand firm in the power of your own boundaries, a new space opens within you, a space where stillness becomes strength. In a world that demands constant motion, stillness may feel foreign, even frightening. Yet it is in this quiet that your deepest wisdom waits. When you allow yourself to pause, when you stop filling every moment with noise, you give your heart the chance to speak, and what it tells you will guide every choice toward the life you truly desire. Silence is not emptiness. It is a living presence that sharpens awareness and softens fear. Neuroscience shows that regular moments of quiet lower stress hormones, reset the nervous system, and increase clarity of thought. In stillness, the mind that once chased every distraction begins to settle, and with that settling comes a vision of what matters most. You start to see which dreams are yours and which were handed to you by someone else. You begin to recognize which battles are worth fighting and which are only noise. Many resist this pause because it reveals truths they have avoided, but those truths are the keys to freedom. In the gentle hush of solitude, you can meet yourself without masks, without expectations. You can listen to the heartbeat of your own desires, the quiet pull of your own purpose. This is not withdrawal from life. It is preparation for living more fully. The stillness does not remove you from the world. It strengthens your ability to move through it with intention. Allow your breath to be your guide. Each inhale is a reminder that life enters you freely. Each exhale is a release of everything you no longer need. With every slow breath, you anchor yourself in the present moment, where regret and worry cannot touch you. This is the doorway to self-love that cannot be shaken by chaos or doubt. Here, in this unshaken center, you find the calm confidence that no external approval can provide. From this place, choices become clearer. You no longer react to every urgency. You respond with purpose. The quiet teaches you to trust your intuition, that inner compass that speaks softly but knows the way. Decisions that once felt heavy begin to align with ease because they rise from a place of deep understanding rather than impulse or fear. Stillness is also a gift you offer to your own body. It lowers the tension you have carried for years. It allows muscles to soften, the heart to steady, the mind to rest. Your worth is not measured by how much you produce or how fast you move. It is measured by the truth of who you are, a truth that can only be felt when you slow down enough to hear it. Embrace this quiet as a sacred practice. Even a few minutes can shift the energy of an entire day. In this pause, you gather strength, you gather clarity, you gather yourself. And when you step back into the rhythm of life, you do so from a place of power, not pressure. You move with the calm assurance of someone who knows that peace is not found outside, but within. This is the stillness that transforms action into art, that turns mere existence into a life fully claimed. From the quiet center of stillness, gratitude rises like a steady flame. It is more than polite words or fleeting thanks. It is a powerful shift in how you see everything you touch and everything that touches you. Gratitude is the practice of turning your gaze from what is missing to what is already present, and in that shift, the entire world changes color. Psychology confirms what the heart has always known. Focusing on what you appreciate strengthens resilience, calms anxiety, and rewires the brain for joy. Each moment of sincere thanks releases chemicals that lift mood and open the mind to possibility. Begin with what is nearest: the steady rhythm of your breath, the warmth of light across your skin, the strength of a body that has carried you through every challenge, even when you doubted it. These are not small things. They are miracles hiding in plain sight. When you acknowledge them, the noise of comparison begins to fade. The race to be more, to have more, to prove more loses its hold because you see the abundance already within reach. Gratitude is not a denial of pain. It is a recognition of wholeness even in the midst of struggle. You can be grateful for the lesson inside a loss, for the courage found in hardship, for the growth that arrives through difficulty. This does not erase the ache, but it gives the ache meaning. It tells your mind that even in dark seasons, there is something to hold on to, something that keeps you moving forward with quiet strength. Let this practice be intentional. Speak your thanks aloud, even if only to yourself. Write it where your eyes can find it. Name 3 things each morning that bring light to your day, no matter how simple. Over time, these moments of acknowledgement accumulate like gentle stones building a path. the more you walk this path, the more natural it becomes. The mind begins to search for beauty, for evidence of goodness, and what you seek you will find. Notice how gratitude softens relationships. When you express appreciation, even silently, the people around you feel it. Tension eases, compassion grows. You start to see others not as obstacles or comparisons, but as fellow travelers carrying their own hopes and fears. Gratitude transforms connection because it invites empathy. It reminds you that every heart is worthy of kindness, including your own. This perspective feeds hope. When you see life through the lens of appreciation, possibilities multiply. Setbacks become stepping stones. Ordinary moments reveal hidden brilliance. The more you honor the gifts already present, the more life seems to offer. It is not magic, it is focus. What you nurture with attention expands. Let gratitude become the language of your days. Let it fill the quiet spaces of morning and the fading light of evening. With each breath of thanks, you affirm that life, even with its imperfections, is worth embracing fully. This practice does not require grand gestures. It asks only for presence, for the willingness to see and to honor. And in that simple act, your spirit strengthens, your vision clears, and your heart learns that abundance was never something to chase. It was always here, waiting for you to notice, waiting for you to claim it as your own. Gratitude awakens a quiet strength, and from that strength rises the courage to forgive. Forgiveness is not a favor to those who hurt you. It is a liberation of your own spirit. Holding on to anger may feel like protection, but it binds you to the very pain you wish to escape. Psychology shows that resentment keeps the body in a state of stress, flooding you with chemicals that tighten muscles and cloud the mind. Releasing that burden is not weakness. It is a profound act of self-love, a decision to stop carrying what was never meant to define you. Begin with the understanding that forgiveness does not excuse harm or invite it again. It does not mean forgetting. It means choosing freedom over bitterness. It means declaring that your future will not be shaped by the wounds of the past. When you forgive, you reclaim the energy that anger once consumed. You redirect it toward healing, growth, and the creation of a life that reflects your true worth. This process often starts within. You may need to forgive yourself for moments of silence, for choices made in fear, for times you doubted your own value. The inner critic can be harsher than any outside voice, repeating old mistakes as if they are proof of failure. But those moments were chapters, not your entire story. Self-forgiveness opens the door to transformation because it allows you to step forward without chains of shame. When you turn this compassion outward, you create space for understanding. You acknowledge that people act from their own wounds and limitations. This does not mean you must invite them back into your life. It means you release the grip they hold over your heart. You no longer give them the power to dictate your peace. You choose to move on, to build new experiences unshaped by old pain. Forgiveness is a practice, not a single decision. It may return like a tide, requiring you to let go again and again. Each time you strengthen the neural pathways of compassion. Each time you remind your mind and body that you deserve relief. Over time, the weight of resentment fades, replaced by a lightness you may not have felt in years. Notice how your body responds to this release. Shoulders ease, breath deepens, a quiet warmth begins to fill spaces once occupied by anger. This is not imagined. Studies show that forgiving lowers blood pressure, strengthens immunity, and improves sleep. Your physical self mirrors the freedom of your emotional self. You become a person who is no longer defined by what was done to you, but by how courageously you choose to live now. Forgiveness is not for the past, it is for the present moment. It clears the path for joy, for love, for purpose. It allows you to see life not through the lens of hurt, but through the clarity of hope. And when you forgive, you invite a future that is wide and open, a future built on strength rather than scars. Choose this liberation, not because they deserve it, but because you do. Because your life is too precious to be tethered to old wounds. Because the deepest act of self-love is to let go, to set yourself free, and to step forward with a heart unbound and ready to begin again.